Hey, Kyle here with Middleton's, and today I'm going to show you how to wire up these gauges. I've got these just kind of sitting here loose right now, but the easiest way to pop these off is the stereo piece will come off easiest first. If you just push up on here, it will pop off, and then the piece comes off. These are already loose. You just kind of push in and pop off on them. And then on this one, you can kind of push up like that. And they pop right off. Glove box comes off pretty easily. You just gotta first, mine's already off, but you pop the end of this off the end of the glove box, and you just kind of pinch the sides and it will fall down and out. And next I'm going to take out the screws to get up underneath here and start pulling the wires down, and then I've got to pull the carpet back, and I'll show you guys where the wires are going to come through in the engine bay. So in the engine bay, this is easier to see because I got my engine out here, but down in this corner below the battery, you may have to get at it from underneath by the exhaust, but there's this little tube that goes into your engine bay right by your floor mat, or right at the, right at the base of the firewall and the carpet there. You barely have to pull your carpet back to see it. You can from the inside push this out. So it comes this little cap because it's the tube for the engine noise maker or whatever that goes to the air intake stock, but you're removing all that for turbo, so you can pop that out, and that's where I'm going to use it already has a grommet there, so I'm going to use that to run my gauge wires in here to the engine bay. So I've fished the first wire through for the air fuel meter. As you can see, this is inside the cab, where you come in the firewall there, and I'll zip tie this up later, kind of up out of the way. But I'm going to bring all three of them in there, for all the wires for all the gauges in right there. And then I fished it up through the corner, back in there so it's out of the way of the glove box, and then up into the first hole that's already there for the air fuel gauge. I'll do the same for the boost, or excuse me, the oil pressure in the center, and for the one over here for the boost, there is no hole, so I'll need to drill a hole there to fish the wire through, but that's not a big deal. So that's what we're doing now. Okay, so went ahead and drilled a hole there for the third pod, for the third gauge. I've got all the wires pulled up in here for all the gauges. And down here I've left these loose. These are the on these all I'm hooking up is the red and the black for ground and for switch power to the ignition. The rest of all these wires are if you have some other optional AEM centrals, I guess monitoring system, whatever. But I'm gonna hook the rest of those up and pop the panel back in there, and I'll leave this undone because I am gonna hook these in, I believe, behind the stereo switch power. It's probably gonna be the easiest, and then the rest of the install will be in the engine bay when I hook up to all the sensors. So I got the gauges installed, wires ran, and I tapped into the back of the stereo here. I went off of this wire that gets the 12-volt switch power. It's the red on the, I think this is the, so these are the three big pins you gotta hook in. There's a couple other ones that are smaller, but this one, these two are on the bottom, lower. I did the subwoofer for kid, that's why that's here. It's a factory sub. But these will tap into the back of the radio. The red wire here, second one in on the top pin, that's the one I tapped into, is the switch constant power. The ground for the gauges, I still have to tuck all this back. The ground is, I'm trying to back up so you guys can see what I'm doing here, sorry. I wired it in, this is part of the sub wire, but, oh yeah, and the power I added the 5 amp fuse here, kind of a pain to get to, but I don't expect to have to swap a fuse out for the gauges. I've run gauges without a fuse and I've not had a problem, so. Anyway, the ground I ran back to the chassis. Let's see if I can see in here. I'm not gonna be able to see with the light on. There's a bolt back inside there on the chassis that bolts right to the dash bar, and that's what I just did a slip-on ground connector to, and that's where I grounded my gauges. So that's what I've done so far. The only issue I've run into, and I may have to extend the sensor on the oil pressure gauge, is the oil pressure sensor is all the way over at the far corner of the engine, so it's not long enough to get there. So I either got to extend the wires or extend an oil line from the sandwich plate out to the sensor. So that'll be coming next. Okay, so stereo piece here. This guy needs to be coated to match where the gauges mount. It's called flocking. So here's where the flocking stuff comes in. I bought a little applicator. So you kind of move back and forth to get a load up this stuff. I got the black stuff, black paint. You load this up with the black, then, and then you, I gotta use the brush to paint this paint heavily. Well, not like heavily, so it's running, but thick and sticky enough that it covers everything on this stereo piece. First I'm going to prep it with soap and water and get it kind of cleaned up and get it roughed up, and then I'm going to paint it with the paint here, and then I'm going to spread it out with the brush, and then I got to use the flocker and put the flocking stuff on this flocking piece and get it all flocked, and then it should match. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can get up there and get up here to show you what I'm trying to match here. You've already seen it hooked up, but I'm trying to match that dash piece right there. So here it goes. We'll see how it comes out. All right, so we've done our flocking, and basically just gotta dump it off, and it looks pretty good. There is that one little spot I missed there, but I don't think you'll see that because I think the stereo will cover that. So we'll see. And that was a brush stroke on the bottom, and this is my daily driver. It's not a show car. So I'm not too picky about it, but I would like it to look show car-ish. So we'll get that installed here in just a second. Okay, so right now I've just got the gauges kind of run and sitting up there and over here. What I'm going to do is, this is the air fuel one here. You can see where it's running. It'll be more or less zip tied up and along here and attached along the front here, because the downpipe that has the sensor will be about right here. And then the boost sensor I'm going to mount somewhere on the firewall here near this line is where I'm going to tap in for boost for the blow-off valve anyways. So that's about where I'll do the sensor for the boost right there. And then that line has to go over here for the oil pressure, which is going to be all the way in this corner. Right in here is about where the oil filter and sandwich plate is. So I'm looking at cutting right across the engine bay or extending the line and going around. We'll see how that works out. But right now, the last bit of the gauge install and the stereo install and this flocking part is pretty well done. So here I'm going to pop the last piece on for you, and hopefully it all matches up nice and pretty. Pretty close match. Good enough. That'll work. Yeah, there's a slight difference. Maybe I should have done mine a little bit thicker, maybe, but we'll see. I can always redo it. But for now, that's going to work. And that's the end of the flocking video.